What's going on, my friends? Vitai the Bean is here. Happy Friday and welcome back to another episode of today's in Crypto Show. What we're seeing today in the news, the big news is Genesis did file for bankruptcy today. So what it means for the crypto market, let's discuss that. Bitcoin is kind of holding, altcoins are a little bit pumping today. Even FTT token is up 28%, which is very strange, right? Considering that FTX exchange is bankrupt. We'll also talk why it is pumping today. And looking at Bitcoin, guys, it is right now at $20,900. So it's holding this level at the moment. And as I pointed out in the previous videos, we did have this bullish flag and we did break it to the downside right here. And then we came back and retest this break perfectly and has been rejected for quite a long time here on this line. So it is textbook like breakdown, retest, and then high possibility that we are going to go lower right now in the immediate short term. But also I wanted to keep in mind something very bullish, that if we go to 2 weeks and we're gonna see MACD indicator, this indicator is going to show us that we did have this bullish cross happen right here. So this bullish cross, it rarely happens on the 2-week chart, which is pretty significant. And the last time we see it happen was in April 2020, and after that we had an incredible rally. So something to keep in mind. Also, if you look on a weekly chart, for the Brave New Coin liquid indicator on a logarithmic regression, you can see that we have bounced from this line right here, and we are facing rejection from the third line from the bottom. And similarly to what we had in 2018, the depths of the bear market, we did see a bounce of the second line here on the logarithmic growth curves, but it was not like this previously in 2015. We were chugging along the lowest line right here. So that's where we stand right now at the moment. Why FTT is pumping? We're seeing a pump from the lows of about 180% on an FTT token. Well, this is because the CEO of FTX, the new appointed CEO, says that FTX exchange could be revived. Could FTX show up from the dead and resurrect itself? That's kind of interesting question that right now people are asking because of this statement, as they have recovered some billions of dollars of assets. And he said that there are stakeholders we are working with who identified what they see is a viable business. A viable business, well, the thing is that trust has been broken from millions of users of FTX that couldn't get a hold of their funds. They even have 3 men that went to where the SBF has been arrested in the parents' house, and they're trying to pass the security and break there. There are some angry people there who are looking to get their FTX funds back. So I don't know about what kind of revival they're talking about, but that's why it is pumping. Now, like I shared yesterday, America still is facing the crisis of debt ceiling, right? The national debt, 31.3 trillion. So they need to decide. They need to decide essentially if they're going to raise the debt ceiling again inside of the United States, and the deadline is approaching so fast for this decision, and they have not yet decided on that. So time will tell, but if they're going to keep raising the debt ceiling, at some point, right, it's going to be not sustainable anymore. How much more you can raise it to? 40 billion, right? 40 trillion, I'm sorry. 60 trillion, 80 trillion, 100 trillion, right? At some point, it's going to burst hard. So this is what we are facing of right now. Bank of America, and this is why you want to be in Bitcoin. This is right here, right in front of you. Bank of America glitch sent customers into a panic over missing funds. So many people reported that they have all of a sudden missing money in their bank accounts, like going to negative all of a sudden, missing thousands of dollars into the money. And there is not just one or two customers, there is a lot of customers. Like one user tweeted, I almost lost my mind when I saw $2,000 was missing from my account. How would you respond if you had money in the bank account and then all of a sudden it disappeared, right? So the issue was with some Zelle payments, and I'm not sure if they already fixed this, but this is why we love Bitcoin, right? Because stuff like that cannot happen in Bitcoin. So yeah, that's with that. Now let's go into the big story of today. Is Genesis files for bankruptcy. Yes, another multi-billion-dollar crypto firm is going into bankruptcy right now. This is pretty crazy, pretty wild. That is because of the collapse of Three Arrow Capital and collapse of FTX, which both filed for bankruptcy. It dragged Genesis with it, and right now, this is only right now we're seeing this consequences in action of fighting for bankruptcy. So this is the official Genesis initiates process to achieve global resolutions to maximize value for our clients and stakeholders and strengthens business for the future. Essentially, they're filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and trying to resurrect some of the funds. And they claim they have only $150 million remaining in the bank, which is enough, according to the CEO, to fund operations during the restructuring process. And of course, the Winklevoss brothers, who lost $900 million, who lent money to Genesis that is now filed for bankruptcy, 340,000 earned users are affected by Genesis because the Gemini exchange, they lent this money from 340,000 users to Genesis, and Genesis lent it to Three Arrow Capital, lent it to FTX, and all got lost. Essentially, they filed for bankruptcy right now. And what the twins are doing is essentially, unless Barry Silbert, who is the founder of Digital Currency Group, so Digital Currency Group above Genesis, come to their senses and make a fair offer to creditors, will be filing a lawsuit against Barry and Digital Currency Group imminently. That's what Gemini co-founder tweeted right now. So essentially, they're in trouble, and that is one more bankruptcy that we are dealing with right now. So I don't know how it's gonna affect the price of Bitcoin. It was already structured in the price or not, but this has been not new. Gemini earners have been since November in crisis. So they're right now mulling a lawsuit against Digital Currency Group, and of course it will take some time. Now, in the recent appearance in CNBC, Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO of JP Morgan, thinks Bitcoin supply will not really be capped at 21 million. So he said in CNBC, how do you know it's going to stop at 21 million? Maybe it's going to get to 21 million and Satoshi's picture is going to come up and laugh at you all. That's what he said. And he's not been a big believer in Bitcoin ever since, he started speaking about it back in 2017. Since then, he changed his mind and he said, we're building a blockchain technology. So building a blockchain technology and ledger to support the bank is good, but Bitcoin, that uses a distributed ledger technology, he's mocking it. Well, looking at it's interesting enough that essentially this halving of every 4 years, right? It's written in the code. There's 5 lines of code that show that Bitcoin cap is at 21 million maximum because of the code. Every 210,000 blocks, approximately every 4 years, it goes down. So it's not implicitly explicitly said, but implicitly said. But before that, look at this. This is the original code right here. The original code of Bitcoin. Subsidies cut in half every 4 years. 21 million. You can see this, 21 million. So there you go. This is the line of code. This is why Bitcoin is worth $21,000 right now. This is the line of code right there. And somebody suggested we can make like t-shirts with this 4 lines of code to show about the value of Bitcoin. Now, a couple more news here. Today we see Robinhood is out there competing with MetaMask, rolling out for the first 1 million users. It's Robinhood crypto wallet with a function as a browser for Web3. So it is in essence a competitor to MetaMask, which we all know and use. So it's not rolled out to everyone just yet. It's going to be using Polygon. So we'll see how well it's going to compete with MetaMask, which has 30 plus million active users. Also, the DeFi project OneInch is launching a hardware wallet soon. So just like you don't have enough hardware wallets, here's another one by OneInch. And for me personally, I'm gonna be, of course, testing it as well. Right now, my 3 favorite hardware wallets is Hypermate Pro, because it does use this fingerprint, which is pretty cool. We have the SafePal, which is relatively cheap wallet. It's like $50, but it has everything inside that you can store very, very safely. And Binance also invested into them. And we have Cool Wallet Pro, which you can take with you everywhere and put it in your wallet right here, and you can store crypto right there in a Cool Wallet Pro. So those are my 3 favorite hardware wallets out there. And of course there's Trezor, there's Ledger, also they are good, and there's others also, hardware wallets that are great. But in terms of like storing BUSD, Polygon, different assets, you know, those are the ones that you might want to consider for the storage. And we see ULX coin is pumping, continuing pump right now. It's at 8.7 cents at the moment. And I did made a tutorial on Ultron swap and how to use the native DEX of Ultron, which is Ultron swap, and how to use the bridge there with 5 different blockchains that it supports: Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Avalanche, Polygon, Phantom. How to do the farming, enjoy 88% APR, and how to do all of that in a DeFi tutorial. And you can go to cryptowealthsystem.com/Ultron swap. I'm gonna post it in the description of the YouTube video, and you can watch this training on Ultron swap. So there you go. This is what I want to share with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this episode today. Always comment, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, stay up to date with the crypto markets overall. There is always an opportunity to grow your wealth with crypto, and I'm here to help and support as much as I can to help as many people as possible to live a life of freedom and abundance and grow their wealth with crypto. All right, so everybody, happy Friday, and I'll see you in the next video.